No system, single female lead, start of the avalanche, counterattack life, both parents died and their savings were scammed. Chen Xuan originally had no intention of living, but suddenly a kind-hearted person came to persuade her. Okay, let's cancel the plan. I'll die tomorrow. So day after day, Chen Xuan lived a miserable life until that day. What? You didn't lie to me for money. The business I invested in was only temporarily blocked overseas. Am I a millionaire now? Chen Xuan turned her head to look at her brother and girlfriend behind her. Alright, now there's another reason why I can't die. Chapter 1. Crossroads in Life. You are listening at novel FUL.audio. Today is a good day, everything I want to do can come true. Liu Zhenghua hummed a song while fiddling with the steering wheel. Today is his first time attending an award ceremony at the government auditorium in his life. Who is this grand award given to? Of course it's me, Liu Zhenghua. What award? The most beautiful taxi driver in the city. Wearing a high-end rented suit paired with sparkling small leather shoes. It can be described as a dog-like appearance. The mother-in-law at home can't even walk when she sees it. Opening the car window, Liu Zhenghua comfortably took a puff of smoke. The scenery that I usually get tired of suddenly becomes pleasing to the eye. Sigh, life is truly beautiful. A emaciated figure suddenly caught the eye by the bridge, and anyone could tell his identity based on his uniform and ugly coat. Liu Zhenghua slowed down the speed, his eyes wide and round. Students. A bridge. In the evening. In just a few seconds, Liu Zhenghua associated many movie plotlines with the above 3 words. Is this? You're not going to take it too hard, are you? The most beautiful taxi driver in the city frowned and completely stopped the national brand sedan that had been produced for over 20 years. Anyone can ignore this. But he. Liu Zhenghua. The most beautiful taxi driver in the city doesn't know. Open the car door and quietly touch it. According to previous news reports, people with suicidal thoughts like this are quite extreme, and their emotions may be irritable, but they may not be able to arouse their emotions. I, old Wang, will definitely save this young life with these 3 sharp tongues. This is the people's test of me. What do you mean by being alive? As soon as he approached Chen Xuan, Liu Zhenghua heard this self-talk and his face couldn't help but sink. It seems that I came right to say such things. You young people still know how to find a place, and the hair dryer is really good. Liu Zhenghua said lightly. Later, someone followed Chen Xuan and hung their legs outside, following suit. What is this called? Psychological resonance. As long as you do the same thing as him, you can lower the other person's guard against you. It's just that the strong wind on this bridge is a bit strong. It's autumn, and although it's not a biting cold wind, it's definitely not comfortable. Uncle, what are you doing here? Chen Xuan saw someone suddenly sitting next to her and wondered. Since childhood, both parents have died, relying solely on national relief funds to survive. The university tuition fees that I have worked hard to save for half a lifetime have been scammed out by netizens. Losing hope in life. So I couldn't bear to think about it and came here to throw myself into the river. What is this social animal uncle for? Is it something related to work? Just like you, blow the wind. Liu Zhenghua wrapped himself in clothes and said disapprovingly. Would a normal person come here for a haircut? Chen Xuan glanced at the river below, which was about 30 meters high. If you're not careful, you'll die, right? Uncle, hurry up and leave. It's very dangerous here. Chen Xuan kindly advised. I don't want to implicate anyone else before I die, no matter what. You're not even afraid, what am I afraid of? After hearing this, Liu Zhenghua smiled heartily and became even more determined in his determination to save Chen Xuan. This child still has a bright future waiting for him. Chen Xuan was stunned and didn't know what to say. After all, he can't just say that he came to commit suicide. Is there anything unhappy lately? Wang Zhenghua smiled and asked. What other great things can these students encounter? I've been heartbroken. After hesitating for a moment, Chen Xuan still didn't tell the truth. Because he was afraid that after he told the truth, the uncle would directly take out his salary. Then he went home and cheated his wife into losing it. In the end, he was scolded, and the ordinary family, who were already not wealthy, added insult to injury. The good people in TV dramas are all portrayed like this, but Chen Xuan still doesn't want to cause such trouble to such a kind-hearted person. Well, let's just die tomorrow. Students should still prioritize their studies. Wang Zhenghua twitched his lips and said word by word. This do young people nowadays play like this? There are indeed some girls nowadays. How to put it, who are self-centered and don't care about others' thoughts. As the saying goes, the quickest way to establish a relationship is to curse the same person as him. Don't say that about her. I've checked and her zodiac sign is like this, slow heat. Chen Xuan said angrily. It seems that I can't hear any negative feedback from the goddess. And this standard clown speech also broadened the horizons of kind-hearted Wang Zhenghua. Listen to what this is saying. What words? Out of respect for life, Wang Zhenghua took a deep breath and said bitterly. Child, there are so many beautiful women in the world, why be confined to such one? Chen Xuan's face turned cold as she became addicted to the script and couldn't extricate herself. You don't understand, she's different. Wang Zhenghua, who had traveled extensively and witnessed countless grand scenes, experienced his first language system disorder. Open your mouth and then close it. Uncle, do you love your wife? Chen Xuan suddenly spoke up. This. You're going to say this. Wang Zhenghua, who had been married for many years, hesitated to speak and felt a bit embarrassed about this topic. Love. Or not love? Chen Xuan solemnly said that he was not allowed to be careless here. The one in front. Speak up. Love. Although the word was indeed spoken, the voice was extremely weak and could not be heard without careful listening. Uncle still doesn't love enough. If he loves, he won't be so insecure. Chen Xuan let out a sigh. What are you talking nonsense about, kid? We've been together for half our lives, how could we not love each other? Even if that old lady will be lying on the bed tomorrow, I will continue to work tirelessly to serve her every day. Being questioned inexplicably, Wang Zhenghua couldn't bear it any longer, his face flushed with anger and his neck thick. Will uncle divorce her just because of a slight personality issue? Chen Xuan sternly questioned. That definitely won't happen. Will the uncle speak ill of her behind her back? Absolutely not. Speaking of which, Wang Zhenghua's eyes were flickering and his heart felt a bit uneasy. Saying that she loves to get angry shouldn't be considered a bad thing, but why are you asking me so much, kid? Shouldn't I be the one providing you with psychological counseling? What if someone speaks ill of her in front of you? Chen Xuan said with a sharp gaze. Is this a man who can tolerate it? Wang Zhenghua's face turned blue and his angry eyes widened. If there really is such a thing, even if you say it yourself, let that guy see what Chinese kung fu is. Why did uncle say, I'm not a goddess? This it's a bit awkward, that's what I said again, isn't it? Code by code, she's just your classmate, not a married relationship. Wang Zhenghua coughed twice and stuttered. But I love her no less than uncles. Seeing that the kind-hearted person in front of her was completely convinced, Chen Xuan felt a wave of relief in her heart. He finally understood how the sense of achievement of those keyboard warriors on the internet came about. According to the law of conservation of mass, the pleasure will not disappear, it will only transfer. So now Wang Zhenghua is not satisfied, and Chen Xuan is very satisfied, buzzing. The phone bounced back and forth in the pocket of the school uniform, restlessly wanting its owner to touch it. Humph, what an unscrupulous machine! Chen Xuan slid open the screen, clicked on the red dot, and then unconsciously raised the corner of her mouth. Xuanzi, Eternal Internet Cafe, Brother Tao, please come quickly. So he stood up and spoke in a low voice. The goddess is calling me, let me take one step first. As soon as the words fell, Chen Xuan skillfully flipped over one fence after another. Walking on the sidewalk of the bridge with both hands in their pockets as if nothing had happened. Not dead. Is this not enough to die? Watching the gradually disappearing figure, Wang Jiangwo's heart was filled with mixed feelings and mixed emotions. Saving a person's life is better than building a level 7 pagoda. But why does he always feel a bit uncomfortable? Why are young people like this now? It's okay, this is what the most beautiful taxi driver in the city should do. Subsequently, Wang Jiangwo worked tirelessly over the fence, rubbed his sore waist, and took a whiff at the nose that had just been blown out by the strong wind. Scrambled to the parking spot. Just an extra note on it compared to when I left. A note. Wang Jiangwo was a bit confused, but then he remembered something and his heart warmed. It must have been written by that young man just now. Young people nowadays really love face. They don't say anything thank you and insist on writing to express their gratitude. Oh, really? Let me see what's written. Wang Jiangwo had just picked up the note sandwiched between the wiper, but his smile froze instantly. Notice of illegal parking, a ticket. What? Chapter 2. Eternal Events. You are listening at Novel FUL. Audio. Eternal Internet Cafe's first floor lobby. Give home, fight. The TM family doesn't want it anymore. What are you pretending to be? I don't understand. What's wrong with the family giving him? Is it useful? Even looking at the big and red words, failure, on the screen, Zhou Xiaoyang's mouth remained firm. What are they pretending to be? Alright, stop yelling, there will be a resolution meeting. Zhang Tao sat slumped on the sofa, rubbing his sore eyes, feeling weak and powerless. This guy is obviously the most mischievous and loves dog barking the most. It's really speechless. Welcome. After the doorbell rang, Chen Xuan walked into the internet cafe wearing her school uniform. Not Buddy. Zhang Tao sat up straight and widened his eyes when he saw the newcomer. Are you wearing this outfit to join the internet cafe? Are you really not afraid of entering the bureau? The wolf is not as fierce as you. The police also have a pair of eyes and a mouth. Why don't you ask him if he's afraid of me? Chen Xuan opened a nearby machine and said calmly. This is the last time I come to an internet cafe in my life. Even if the heavenly king Laozi comes, it won't work. You. Just. Zhang Tao supported his forehead and sighed deeply. What kind of friends have I made here? Is there a normal one? Have you been taking orders lately? I see many tycoons in the game group are looking for thugs. Zhou Xiaoyang looked at Chen Xiandao. My good brother relies on this little skill to survive. Why hasn't there been any sudden movement lately? Thanks to myself, I even brought him a few beautiful and kind-hearted female bosses. I won't play games anymore. Chen Xuan entered the account that had accompanied her for many years and clicked to log in. So. Zhou Xiaoyang nodded and suddenly felt something was wrong. He was stunned on the spot. Stop playing. What are you talking about? You don't rely on this to earn tuition. Minors can only find temporary workers, who work hard and earn less. And game practice has no drawbacks besides eating youth meals. Very suitable for high school students like Chen Xuan. But what does it mean to suddenly stop playing? I feel bored anymore. Chen Xuan chuckled lightly and then remembered something. By the way, didn't you always want my account? I gave it to you. Although Chen Xuan didn't charge much money for this account, there are many limited skins for the top 100 Chinese servers. If you sell it online, it's not cheap either. It can be considered a great gift if you complete it completely. As soon as these words were spoken, Zhang Tao was so scared that he quickly touched Chen Xuan's forehead to see if he had a fever. Are you all right now? Why did you suddenly start talking nonsense? Is it a problem in my mind pushing away Zhang Tao's claws? Chen Xuan spoke seriously. The essential job of students is to study hard. You must have taken the wrong medicine today. Zhou Xiaoyang looked at Chen Xuan for a while, then thought deeply and said. Before these two could ask Chen Xuan for the specific reason, a group of unwelcome guests suddenly walked in at the entrance of the internet cafe. Unicolor northern down jacket, tight pants. Thief eyebrows and mouse eyes, swallowing clouds and puffing mist. It's the kind of product that you can tell at a glance that it's not a good thing. This is probably those social thugs from the old city area. Zhou Xiaoyang lowered his voice and said, his eyes also indicating that the two good brothers should not have any conflict with them. Once entangled by such a person, it will be difficult for a while at least. Boss, this bar counter girl is still on time. One of them scrutinized certain parts of the little girl's body without restraint. His eyes were filled with vulgar and shameless expressions. Remember, she will be your sister.in.law in the future. Big Brother twisted the big front door in his hand, which cost 3 yuan per bag, and cut off the railway with his nails. Judging from his confident and composed appearance, it seems that he has no doubt about his charm at all. Can you please have dinner with me later, this beautiful woman? Big Brother leaned forward and made that rough bubble sound. I'm not interested. If the guest doesn't go online, please go out. Gu Han couldn't help but roll his eyes, unable to breathe well. Is it easy to work on your own every day? How come I always come across such people? You bitch, speak with respect to my big brother. Upon hearing these words, the younger brother immediately became angry. If you don't give me face, you just don't give me face. Hey! Don't be so cruel to your sister.in.law. Your sister.in.law is just a bit shy. The big brother pretended to stop him, then walked into the bar without authorization and began to approach Gu Han. What are you doing? If you come over again, I'll call the police. Gu Han bit his lower lip tightly, his face turning pale. If I touch you, I'll call the police. Big Brother spread his hands flat, feeling very aggrieved. And today you can report to the police and avoid it for a while. What about tomorrow? The day after tomorrow? Is the police station your home? And as a law-abiding citizen, can you also prevent me from pursuing women? Big Brother plays with the taste. I don't know how many women I have won just by using this trick to grind and grind. It can be said that it has been tried and tested repeatedly. This little beauty is about to enter the embrace of this master. Upon hearing this rogue's speech, Gu Han's lips trembled slightly, and tears were about to flow. The rescue gaze immediately turned to the people in the hall who were surfing the internet. Among them are office workers, students, and great gods. Age and personality may vary, but what is common is that timid heart. For a while, I didn't see anyone standing up to defend against injustice. They are all just sitting there quietly addicted to the online world. Alright, let's go with me, little beauty. Just have a meal, isn't it about killing or setting fire? Is it necessary to be so indifferent? Big Brother saw that no one was willing to meddle in his business, so he smiled and spoke out. Boss. The boss is the one who is least willing to cause more trouble. Compared to a little girl who was recruited on the spot, it's always more important to think about one's own business. Don't be ignorant at all costs. The younger brother continued to sing the double reed, as if he wanted to finish the play. Subsequently, a group of people eagerly awaited Gu Han's compromise. It seems that they firmly believe that today will be as smooth as ever. Xuanzi, what are you doing? Seeing Chen Xuan suddenly stand up and walk towards the bar, who had been silent all along, Zhou Xiaoyang couldn't believe it. If that little girl is someone we know, then we will fight whatever we say. Is it necessary to take this risk for a stranger? Big Brother frowned as he saw the student dressed as Chen Xuan walking straight towards him. Third middle school. I heard there are all a bunch of bookworms inside, right? Unexpectedly came here. It's really interesting. You're a sure kid. Before he could finish speaking, the big brother was punched heavily in the face. Due to not reacting, the whole person flew backwards with this force. And this unexpected scene left everyone stunned. This just one word against action. Gu Han blinked and looked at Chen Xuan, who remained expressionless, and then at the embarrassed older brother. This man is fighting for himself. Remembering the various grievances and setbacks I experienced on the journey of running away from home. Gu Han felt for a moment that having a stranger treat him like this was already a death without regret. There are still people in the world who take themselves seriously. Immediately, tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision. Kill him for me. The big brother lying on the ground had a gloomy and terrifying expression on his face, and his teeth clenched with a gurgling sound. How many years have passed? It's been years since I've lost someone like this still in public. Up. With the shout of the younger brother's charge slogan, 7 or 8 big men suddenly marched towards Chen Xuan with their teeth and claws open. The entire front desk of the internet cafe is in chaos, and now even those who want to watch the show can't watch it anymore. Alarm, alarm quickly. A middle-aged man was so scared that he hurriedly took out his phone to dial. Others saw the situation uncontrollable and were afraid of involving themselves, so they all sneaked away through the back door. A punch aimed directly at the door. Chen Xuan dodged sideways, picked up the broom at the door, and pulled it back. But this wooden stick is too thin. It broke into 2 pieces before it could be adjusted a few times. But thanks to Chen Xuan secretly practicing for a while working in the gym before, she is still relatively stronger than these guys. Relying on the nunchaku to repel repeated attacks. Let's go together, don't waste time. Big Brother was so angry when he saw that Chen Xuan could fight these people back and forth. Chapter 3. Intense Confrontation. You are listening at Novel FUL. Audio. Aren't we helping Xuanzi? Zhang Tao touched the cold sweat on his face and said in a panic. Now that he has the upper hand, shouldn't we add to the chaos in the past? And Xuanzi has always been low-key and independent of the world. Today, I suddenly sacrificed my life for such a strange woman. What does it mean? If you haven't made a name for 3 years, you have already made a remarkable achievement. Let's wait for him to show off his skills. For some unknown reason, Zhou Xiaoyang has great confidence in Chen Xuan's combat effectiveness. Perhaps this is the power of love. Big Brother, this kid is a bit evil. A little brother stepped back and said helplessly, covering his arm that had been bitten by Chen Xuan. Most people lose strength as they fight, but this kid is getting crazier as he fights. Since we first started together, we suddenly became so exhausted. Bite with your teeth and hit your head. What move to use ruthlessly? A group of people with a gruesome scene dare not go up. This is a fight, not a life or death situation. As for it, waste, I need to personally go up. The big brother's face turned cold and he twisted his neck. Seeing their elder brother about to take action, the younger brothers who were entangled with Chen Xuan also looked for opportunities to leave and empty the venue. 2 fists are difficult to match 4 hands. Chen Xuan tried her best to maintain an unbeaten situation. At this moment, the whole person was also disheveled and covered in scars. On the face, legs, and arms. There are bruises and bloodstains, which look very eerie. Stop fighting, stop fighting. That's enough, that's enough. Can't I come with you? Gu Han knelt down on the ground, pleading almost absent-mindedly. It's all my own fault. I shouldn't have lived by myself. I wish I had said that earlier. The older brother looked at Chen Xian's ruthless and fearless strength, hesitating for a while before finally taking this step. Although cheetahs cannot kill lions, if they fight against fate, they can still bite off a few pieces of lion skin. Big Brother is a person who cherishes his body, otherwise he wouldn't have personally taken action just now. Upon seeing his elder brother agree, Gu Han immediately let out a miserable smile and walked towards him unsteadily. That's good, at least it won't cause trouble for others anymore. Just a few steps away, one hand suddenly pulled her back. Gu Han looked at the owner of his hand, Chen Xuan, in a daze. Before she could open her mouth to speak, Chen Xuan protected her behind her. Then he looked at the big brother, with a cold chill in his eyes. Today, can't you take her away? I said it. Can labor and capital still be used to your gang of dog things committing crimes before their death? What? Upon hearing these words, the elder brother was so angry that he couldn't bear it anymore and lost his sanity. You can send it, what kind of thing is it? Pick up the ashtray from the bar and smash it directly at Chen Xuan's face. Although the latter blocked with his arm in advance, the full force also directly made Chen Xuan's arm lose consciousness. Due to the poor quality of the school uniform jacket, broken glass fragments directly penetrated through the jacket and scratched the skin inside. For a moment, the blood soaked through both arms. Are you rolling now? Big Brother roared angrily. He has been in society for so many years, and this is the first time he has been like this. Wearing a school uniform, yet possessing the ruthlessness that a student should not have. It's really strange. Chen Xuan didn't react much after listening, she just felt her brain suddenly go a bit dizzy, and the people in front of her began to have ghosting. I haven't eaten all day today, suddenly exercising so much. I can't resist it anymore. But I can't fall down yet, but the physical function is definitely not something that Chen Xuan's personal will can control. Feeling her increasingly weak body, Chen Xuan knew she didn't have time. With a ruthless heart, why not just do two things without rest? Rush straight to the bar, pull out the fruit knife from the fruit tray, and head straight towards the big brother. You're crazy. Looking at the white blade reflecting under the light, the big brother was immediately scared and lost, his brain blank. What kind of deep blood feud between us is worth fighting for? Whilst circling around the bar counter, tears streamed down his face as he pleaded for mercy. Brother, you're still young, don't go down the path of crime. Knife. Knife. Whether it's Zhou Xiaoyang, Zhang Tao, or Gu Han, they never expected that Chen Xuan would directly pursue others with a knife without saying a word. This world is simply crazy. Gu Han approached and tightly hugged Chen Xuan's waist. Crystal tears, the size of beans, rolled down her pale cheeks. The voice hoarse. Don't do this, I don't deserve you to do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. That's right, brother. I need to know that she's your girlfriend. Do I have to risk my life teasing her? The elder brother knelt on the ground and confessed. The thing he regrets the most in his life at this moment is entering this internet cafe. If I could start over, I would choose Diwu. Several police cars parked at the entrance of Eternal Internet Cafe. Upon hearing the sound of a life-saving straw, the big brother ran out in a hurry. Police officer, help me, I don't want to die yet. Don't worry, you won't be okay. Where are the criminals? The old-looking police officer helped him up and then frowned, feeling that the case would not be as simple as before. It's me, get me inside quickly. Big brother has a runny nose and tears. I failed to flirt with girls, get me inside quickly. He can't rush into the detention center and stab himself anymore, can he? Now I am safe. The veteran police officer who has been enforcing the law for many years has encountered this situation for the first time and is somewhat confused. How come there are still people rushing to the bureau? Is the social atmosphere so good now? Can you go inside and see what's going on inside? The old police officer gave orders to his colleagues behind him with a strange expression on his face. The interrogation room of the Public Security Bureau. The old police officer remained silent for a long time after reading the confession of the person involved. Rubbing her temples again, trying to force herself to accept the reality in front of her. Well, I really can't understand. Finally, he had to knock on the table and look at Chen Xuan, who had already been wrapped in a mummy. So you saved an unfamiliar girl and directly pulled out the knife, right? Yes. Chen Xuan didn't care much about it. Anyway, I'm going to die tomorrow. Why bother with so much? Winning the posthumous title. There are many ways to save people, why be so extreme? The old police officer walked over and patted Chen Xuan's emaciated shoulder, carefully comforting her. Think about your parents. What if you really defend yourself and fall for it? I don't have parents, that's not something to consider. Chen Xuan's face suddenly looked a bit ugly. Compared to these useless inquiries, he wants to eat more now. My stomach is as hungry as a fire, and my heart aches. If possible, Chen Xuan wants to be a starving ghost. You. Then it's even more important to treat yourself well. The old police officer couldn't bear to hear about Chen Xuan's tragic background. Can I leave now? Chen Xuan looked up and asked. It's already dark now, and I don't know if the mall is closed or not. Today, let's find a restaurant that hasn't blocked us and try to eat all the food we need. It's alright now. You don't even need to file a case until you reach out for the knife. The old police officer sighed. Young people are impulsive in their actions. Your friend has been picked up by the parents, and that little girl is still waiting for you outside. Chen Xuan nodded and got up to leave. But when the door to the interrogation room was pushed open, only the old police officer shouted again. You can come to this sub-bureau to find me for anything in the future. Do you think you are Anshin? This kind of words should not be spoken by you, an old police officer. If you don't do it well, you will be punished. After hearing this, Chen Xuan still had a paralyzed expression, but with a hint of gratitude in her eyes. I have taken my heart, but I don't think I will have the chance to trouble you in the future. Walking to the lobby on the first floor, Chen Xuan glanced at the central alarm clock and immediately felt a chill in her heart. After 9 o'clock in the evening. It's impossible for a mall to open at this point tonight. I may be the only high school student in this city who starved to death. Chapter 4. Eating and drinking enough and going on the road. You are listening at novel FUL.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Rejoining the river. You are listening at novel FUL.audio. A familiar bridge, an unfamiliar location. Compared to the extremely conspicuous place last time, Chen Xuan cleverly chose the bridge cave this time. At this time, no one usually passes by here, and not everyone is as warm-hearted as that driver uncle, but Chen Xuan did not jump into the river and commit suicide in the first place, but wandered around, digesting the food in her stomach. This is just because he wants to die more comfortably. I can't even imagine the taste of filling my stomach with food and water. Moreover, he is not in a hurry to die, so it doesn't matter if he stays a little later. As for why do we have to throw ourselves into the river? Instead of choosing to take sleeping pills. Where's the money? Besides, how could there be a pharmacy selling to a student casually, and the store still wants to open or not? So the cheapest and most convenient way to die is the ultimate outcome of Chen Xuan. After digesting almost everything, Chen Xuan touched her pocket, intending to check the time. After all, midnight is a new day. At the moment of midnight, death also signifies that one will start a new life. Wait. Seems like something's wrong. Before, when licking the dog, I stuck and sent birthday wishes to the goddess. Now hold on to the point of reincarnation. I'm really a weirdo myself. Hee. Before Chen Xuan could finish mocking himself, the empty pocket made his face suddenly change. Because he suddenly remembered something. I forgot my phone at the restaurant. The leisurely sky, why is it thinner than me? Chen Xuan looked up at the vast starry sky and murmured to herself. It's just. It's all my own fate, this is all my own fate. Then towards the surging river. Step by step. Although slow, it is incredibly firm. Until a splash, the whole person was completely submerged by the river water. This scene was like a needle falling into the sea, with no response except for a splash of water. Even if he sacrificed his life for it, so being drowned feels like this. Apart from the brief pain at the beginning, Chen Xuan now only feels like she's floating on air. I can't see anything around me, I can hear nothing. Everything is so peaceful and beautiful, it seems like a brand new life in the future is waving to me. Hands. Hands. One hand suddenly grabbed Chen Xuan, who had sunk into the river, and wanted to take her out of here. What kind of thing dares to affect my reincarnation? Chen Xuan tried hard to open her eyes, but what she saw was a blurry figure with long black hair. Water ghost. Did you break the rules yourself? Don't even let me die. Send a water ghost to disgust yourself. Bullying people too much. Chen Xuan exerted all her remaining strength to resist, wanting to break free from the control of the water ghost. But in the end, they were unable to defeat the monsters and were soon dragged onto the riverbank. Wow! Wow! Chen Xuan felt a surge in her stomach and intestines when she saw the sky again, and then she started to vomit with a lot of searching. Mud, tomatoes, chicken legs, small stones. Everything. You forgot to take your phone, I'll return it to you. Because during the rescue process, the water ghost with scattered hair. Gu Han handed over the domestically produced screen shredder. When I just got into the water, I deliberately placed my phone on the shore, so I didn't get wet with her. You. Chen Xuan, who was nauseous, pointed at her and couldn't speak. But just by looking at the way his eyeballs were about to pop out, it was enough to understand his shock and incomprehension. Did I die well? What are you doing to save me? Is it really just for returning a phone? The front foot saved me without hesitation, and the back foot committed suicide without hesitation. Gu Han looked at him with a gloomy expression and said, I really don't understand why. In order to avoid that disgusting home, I would rather abandon my inheritance rights and rely on myself outside. No matter how hard or tiring it may be, I strive to live every day, but why can't he just take it so seriously? You and I are both young, what can't be solved? Why? He. Chen Xuan stood up unsteadily, with a bitter smile on her lips, intentionally or unintentionally. This is fate, can you? Before he could finish speaking, Chen Xuan fell to the ground with a loud roar and never got up again. Severe water ingress into the lungs, combined with the previous wound being soaked in river water, can be said to be a severely injured body. It's estimated that in the evening, what Gu Han brings up will be a dead person. After an unknown amount of time, the buzzing sound in Chen Xuan's ear was replaced by the sound of a group of people speaking, and the faint smell of disinfectant could still be smelled. Has the internal sludge been cleared? Cleaned up, doctor. Where's the trachea? When she woke up again, what caught Chen Xuan's eye was the white ceiling. Then he tried to sit up and looked around at the environment. Am I in the hospital? What hospital can actually pay after surgery? So conscientious. Chen Xuan looked at the messy medical equipment on her body, feeling a bit confused. But I don't have any money myself. Wait a minute. Someone is at my feet. Chen Xuan quickly looked over. I saw Gu Han lying on the edge of the bed, sleeping quietly, breathing lightly but evenly. The difference from before fainting is that the clothes are different. From the original internet cafe work uniform to a casual outfit. Compared to others, her appearance and temperament have also improved, and perhaps this is her original appearance. Shouldn't she have paid the bill? A terrifying conjecture suddenly emerged in Chen Xuan's mind. If it weren't for her spending money, how could this hospital save herself as a poor person? This looking at the valuable medical devices one by one, Chen Xuan felt a wave of despair. How much does TN cost? I don't know if selling a kidney is enough. It seems that Chen Xuan's sudden movement woke up Gu Han. The girl slowly looked up and rubbed her eyes, gasping for breath from exhaustion. Are you awake? It's only 6 o'clock in the morning and you can still sleep for a while. Just swimming in the cold river yesterday exhausted her, let alone taking care of Chen Xuan until midnight. I haven't been so tired even from the night shift last week. How much did you spend? Chen Xuan gripped the bedsheet with both hands and said nervously. Chen Xuan may not die without sleeping, but the number he owes is outrageous and he will definitely die. Oh, this one, around 50,000 yuan. Gu Han recalled for a moment, and a hint of cunning flashed in his eyes. Relying solely on her own work for the past few months to earn enough money is definitely not enough, so she had to borrow some from her overseas best friend on the spot. There happens to be a time difference, so we can get in touch. Otherwise, Chen Xuan might have died at the hospital entrance last night because she couldn't raise enough surgical fees. 50,000. 50,000. Upon hearing this astronomical number, Chen Xuan's pupils immediately lost their highlights, leaving only endless despair in her heart. I have only saved 20,000 yuan since doing odd jobs in junior high school. 50,000. Chen Xuan is already considering how much she can sell her belongings. It seems like you won't be able to die until you pay back all my money. Gu Han did not conceal the smile on his face. I don't know why he died, but I can definitely know the reason and solve it before he dies. Don't worry, Chen is not someone who refuses to pay off debts. At this moment, Chen Xuan didn't know how to express her feelings. I can't even die if I want to. Perhaps this is the true meaning of life being more than death. You shouldn't have taken out a naked loan, right? Chen Xuan suddenly trembled with fear and said. Can an internet CAFA girl easily pull out 50,000 yuan? If it were really to save oneself and do such a thing, I would have committed heinous crimes, and I would never have spared the blame in the face of death. This joke is not funny at all. Gu Han said helplessly. The young lady of the group ran away from home and couldn't afford to eat, but instead took out a naked loan. This kind of news should not happen to oneself. You haven't told me your name yet. Upon hearing her say this, Chen Xuan's suspended heart finally let go and said slowly. This girl will become her biggest creditor in the future. At least exchange names. Hello Chen Xuan, my name is Gu Han. Immediately, a fair little hand was reached out, and Chen Xuan was taken aback at the sight. She gently shook it in unison. Chapter 6. Changes. You are listening at Novel FUL.audio. You're a senior in high school, right? Gu Han asked. How do you know? Chen Xuan took off her sick coat and prepared to change back to the soaked school uniform. But pinching the wet corner of his clothes made it difficult. It seems like it can't be worn, right? I saw the label on it when I changed your medical uniform. Gu Han's face turned red as he turned around and took out a set of sportswear from the bag by the wall. I already bought it in advance last night. If you don't mind, let's replace it first. Seeing the brand new branded sportswear with a logo, Chen Xuan's heart was dripping with blood. Previously, he only indulged in sexual activity through glass panels. But at the moment, he doesn't have a choice either. If he still insists on wearing that school uniform, he might have to go to the hospital again soon. I'll only work for you in my next life if the money for this dress is 1 yuan. Chen Xuan closed her eyes tightly, as if she had made some kind of determination. Here. Your phone. Gu Han handed his phone over again and then said with a smile on his face. Is the wallpaper your classmate? A very beautiful girl. While waiting outside the operating room, Gu Han couldn't sleep either, so he flipped through Chen Xuan's phone. I was wondering if I could help him contact his family, but I didn't expect to set a password for the time, so I couldn't read anything except for my phone wallpaper. Don't worry, I won't delay repaying your money for any reason. After listening, Chen Xuan was stunned for a moment and said in an extremely serious tone. Oh. Gu Han muttered to himself. I didn't expect this kid to have a crush, I really didn't notice. When are you going back to class? In a few days. Chen Xuan poured a cup of hot water from the table, sipped it in small sips, and her face was uncertain. It's National Day holiday now, and there are still some days before the start of school. Since I want to repay the debt before I die, I also need to find a way to ensure my daily food and clothing, so as not to starve halfway. But every month, the relief fund only covers rent and tuition fees, and now I am penniless. I'm afraid I won't be able to live until then. Are you very short of money? Gu Han suddenly spoke up. After all, most people don't wear school uniforms every day, and they can still turn them into battle-damaged versions. I can't think of it because I've been cheated out of my savings. Chen Xuan said coldly, and at the same time, her hand was tightly gripping the cup, with a faint feeling of wanting to crush it. A netizen who has known each other for many years and has met offline. It is said that there is any way to make big money abroad, as long as you sponsor the startup funds, you can evenly share the profits after the matter is completed. Chen Xuan is not greedy, it's really that guy who keeps pestering and pestering endlessly. Moreover, with a good relationship, Chen Xuan had to trust him once. But who knew he cut off contact shortly after going abroad? What else could it be if he didn't run away with money? At this moment, Gu Han remembered the look of Chen Xuan starving to death just now at the self-service shop, and felt ashamed in his heart. He's already like this, do I still have to rely on this method to tie him down? Well, if you come to stay at my house, you can save on rent. After speaking, Gu Han's cheeks turned red, but he was afraid that Chen Xuan might misunderstand something, so he quickly explained. Just considering that you're going to run away, what should we do? Let's live together, I'll see you better. Don't think too much. After a moment of silence, Chen Xuan spoke seriously. I understand. 50,000 yuan is not a small amount for anyone, and it's normal for her to feel uneasy. But her suspicion of her integrity is completely unnecessary. And both of us are from the same school, so we can go to and from school together. When he said these words, for some reason, Gu Han's voice became quieter and quieter, eventually approaching the mosquito's hum. Chen Xuan only heard the first half of the sentence clearly and frowned. A school. Third middle school. Why don't I remember you? I just transferred here a while ago. Gu Han curled his long hair into circles with his fingers. At this moment, she doesn't know if she was right or wrong when choosing this school. Right, I met someone like Chen Xuan who is willing to work hard for me. Wrong, I always feel isolated in school for some unknown reason. Actually, sometimes I really regret arguing with the old man and threatening not to spend a penny on him in the future, so much so that I lived a life of work-study, and it's false to say that it's not hard or tiring. I'm from class 1 of grade 3. Chen Xuan reported her family background. I'm from class 5. Class 1 is full of top-tier students from prestigious schools. Gu Han couldn't believe it. Is the internet-addicted teenager still a cool and handsome academic powerhouse? Learning is the only way out for someone like me. What kind of person are you? Orphans without parents. Sorry, let's change the topic. Gu Han wished he could slap his big mouth. It's just a fact, what can't be admitted. Chen Xuan said disapprovingly. Isn't it like this all these years? I've long been accustomed to being alone. I'll go to the previous rental house first and move the things to your place. Okay, I'll help you move some, it's faster, isn't it? Gu Han packed up his things and followed behind Chen Xuan. The thin and hard figure inexplicably grew tall in her heart. Compared to him, what are his own things? When he arrived at the old rental house, Gu Han was stunned by the poor conditions for a while, then took a deep breath. Is this where you live? Well, instead of being shocked, why don't you help me lift the book out first? Looking at the box of yellow textbooks, Gu Han's mood became even heavier. Even books are second-hand. Did he live the life that a person should have before? Gu Han, who has been living a luxurious life since childhood, really can't imagine it. Now she does work part-time to earn a living, but the habit she has developed since childhood will not significantly reduce her standard of living. Daily necessities are all leftover high-end goods from before, and eating has always been ordering takeout. The biggest difference is that it has transformed from a large villa to a furnished apartment. You have one box, I have one box, we can go now. What? Is that all you have? A box of clothes, toiletries, and books. Okay, follow me in the future and you won't be so frustrated anymore. Gu Han let out a sigh. The most correct decision you made in your life was to save my life when I was in a difficult situation. When I graduate from college and come back home to inherit my family property, your child will learn from the achievements of the dragon. Let's hide alone under the covers and have fun. After I pay off the debt, you can't stop me from dying. Chen Xuan said in a deep voice. His dying heart has not changed even now. Why? Because he never felt that his life was full of hope. The future is promising, it's up to you then. Gu Han chuckled nonchalantly. If I can't get rid of your face paralysis after you pay off the account, then I will really be in trouble for the world. Let's go. Downstairs of Sunshine apartment. Sometimes I can't figure out whether you're poor or rich. Chen Xuan looked at the towering building that couldn't reach the top, puzzled. Does the internet cafe girl live here? Can the internet cafe girl easily take out 50,000 yuan? I know the landlord, the rent is a bit cheaper. After some thought, Gu Han also felt that this was the most reasonable explanation. 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, you can also have a normal room in the future. Insert the key and push the door open, Gu Han smiled and said. Thank you very much, I will definitely repay this money. The boys who can enter the girls' room are undoubtedly full of trust in the latter. So Chen Xuan will never let down this relationship. That room is empty, please decorate it slowly first, and I will go back to the room to sleep for a while. Gu Han yawned, as if not worried at all about Chen Xuan taking this opportunity to commit any wrongdoing. Okay, you can rest first, I'll handle the rest myself. Looking at the lively residence in front of her, Chen Xuan felt warmth for the first time. Perhaps it's because I won't be alone again in the future. Let's do a big cleaning first. Chapter 7. Life. You are listening at Novel FUL.audio. Around 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, Gu Han pushed open his door. After scanning around, my eyebrows furrowed. So clean, I must have been dizzy. So Gu Han closed the door and pushed it open again. Still like before. After closing and closing several times like this, I still saw this completely new look in front of me. Gu Han was startled and immediately shouted towards the living room. Chen Xuan. Chen Xuan. Our family has been robbed. What kind of person is it? Stealing things without stealing anything valuable, just moving the house empty. Where did the thief come from? Why haven't I seen him? Chen Xuan, holding a mop, walked out of the living room and said suspiciously. What are you? Gu Han looked at the things in his hand and then at the spotless room, his eyes almost bulging out. I feel like this room is a bit messy, so I tidied it up. Seeing that Gu Han didn't seem to have any objections, Chen Xuan said again. By the way, I saw some ingredients in the refrigerator and used them for cooking without authorization. If you mind. What? Gu Han interrupted before he finished speaking. Cooking. Can this kid still cook? Those who don't believe in evil immediately run to the kitchen. But the steaming dishes left Gu Han dumbfounded. You. Pointing to the food and then to the room. Gu Han showed a bewildered expression, feeling for the first time the pale and powerless language. What's wrong? What's wrong? Chen Xuan is a bit nervous. As soon as I arrived at someone's house, I would randomly touch and take things without permission. Even if my intention was good, I guess I would still be a bit unhappy, but Chen Xuan is a perfectionist with obsessive-compulsive disorder. It's impossible for him to hold back. After taking a deep breath, Gu Han solemnly spoke. You did a good job. In the future, you will be responsible for all the daily affairs of our family. This kid really surprises me time and time again. No problem, it's just that if I need to purchase ingredients again, I'll probably have to wait for my relief fund to be issued. Now I'm penniless. Chen Xuan nodded without feeling any burden added. What can be counted as the fact that he repaired all the leaks in the previous rental house himself. As for the money, I still have some left. I'll give it to you later. Looking at the appetizing food, Gu Han couldn't wait to start serving it. Actually, her original intention in buying these dishes was to teach herself how to cook, but lazy. By the way, I hate eating broccoli, I like to eat coriander, I don't like too light food. And I understand. Chef Chen Xuan kept in mind every request from the guests. Always maintain the respect that God deserves. As the highly anticipated chopsticks were about to touch the dishes, Gu Han's hand suddenly froze in mid-air. I just remembered something. You say. I also saw the name Chen Xuan when I passed by the glory list at school before. It has always dominated the top 3. He can't be you, can he? Facing her curious big eyes, Chen Xuan let out a faint hum. So this meal was made for me by the first person in my grade. At that moment, Gu Han's heart suddenly tightened and he ate with caution. If you want to understand it that way, that's no problem. Chen Xuan touched her chin and pondered for a moment. Delicious, delicious. As soon as a piece of meat was sandwiched in, Gu Han's taste buds were instantly conquered, and he sighed repeatedly. That's great, I won't eat takeout again in the future. Just don't mind me making it unpleasant. How could it be? Who dares to say that you cook poorly? I'll be the first to beat him up. As he spoke, Gu Han rolled up his sleeves and revealed his fair arms. I'll take it as your recognition of me. Chen Xuan smiled. Being praised for one's hard work is actually a form of enjoyment. You eat first, I'll go out and see if there are any job vacancies nearby. So urgent. I have already eaten it, don't worry. Chen Xuan replied. By the way, don't go to internet cafes as a front desk in the future. Why? Are you so worried about me? Upon hearing these words, Gu Han couldn't help but feel warm in his heart, and then smiled and joked. After all, I can't be by your side every time, and it's really impolite to stab someone at a word of disagreement. Listen to you, listen to you. At the thought of the thrilling scene before, Gu Han still felt a bit scared. While walking on the street waiting for traffic lights, Chen Xuan casually flipped through her phone. I just realized that someone has been sending me messages these past few days. Yanzu, Zhou Xiaoyang, Xuanzi, my mother has picked me up and left. Let me tell you. Don't be so impulsive in the future. If you really hurt someone, can you afford to pay for it? Listening to the wind quietly, Zhang Tao, don't worry brother, we will definitely not stand idly by in the future when such things happen. May you embrace the beauty and return a fish. Shen Xuan, I'm so bored at home, should we go out and play together? What are you doing? Why are you ignoring me? Are you still working in your original place? Can I come find you? If you don't pay attention to me anymore, cut off my friendship. I'll give you another chance. You're really ignoring me. Woo-woo. Among the 3, Chen Xuan had the most numerous messages, with a few almost every day, like checking in at work. Those 2 rough men are back together, just one is enough. How should this girl respond? Chen Xuan had a worried expression for a moment. The wallpaper in my phone is hers. Of course, this is definitely not something that Chen Xuan changed herself. It was Chen Xuan who said her phone was out of battery and borrowed a phone to secretly exchange it. But Chen Xuan usually doesn't have time to play with her phone, and sometimes she forgets to change the wallpaper when she's too busy. Later on, let's just do this. Anyway, no one cares, I've been busy working these days and don't have time to check my phone. Sorry. After hesitating for a moment, Chen Xuan tapped her fingers on her phone. Chen Xuan is not unaware of what Chen Xuan has always meant. Just living alone has already done my best, there is really no extra thought to indulge in male and female love. So I always see through it but don't talk about it, try to minimize the interaction between the two, and only be ordinary friends. But this girl has no intention of giving up at all. Chen Xuan was just about to put away her phone when another red dot appeared. A fish, Chen Xuan, as a spiritual compensation, accompany me to watch a movie. Second response. Chen Xuan was very helpless. Just as she was about to refuse, another message popped up. Don't worry, I know you don't have the money. I'll treat you. It's not a matter of money, I have to work and I really don't have time to accompany you. How could you be like this? Below is also a pouting angry expression pack. Let's gather again at school. Chen Xuan once again coldly and ruthlessly refused her invitation. Chen Xuan, dressed in pink pajamas, was jumping in anger in her room. Damn it! Chen Xuan, you're going too far. Then he grabbed the poor little yellow doll by the bedside and combined his fists and feet. I don't believe it for so long, you can't tell I like you. Do I have a bad figure or a poor appearance? Answer me. The little yellow man who was beaten up inexplicably also has a hard time to express since being given to this savage woman by Chen Xuan. Every day, every fire has been directed towards her. Bully it and it won't speak. It shouldn't have appeared in Chen Xuan's sight at the beginning, so she begged Chen Xuan to blow a balloon down. Good daughter, it's time for dinner. Upon hearing a shout outside the door, Chen Xuan hurriedly cleaned up the crime scene, trying to cover up everything just now. Okay, come right away. Chapter 8. Music Classroom. You are listening at Novel FUL. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Liu Zhenghua. You are listening at Novel FUL. Audio. At the entrance of Class 2 classroom. Hua Xiao, Chen Xuan is looking for you. A student from Class 2 shouted loudly towards the class. If the school grass is recognized as a title by Liu Zhenghua, then the top scorer is Chen Xuan. Due to occupying the top spot for a consecutive year and falling behind the last two, he was awarded this title. Chen Xuan. Liu Zhenghua, who was surrounded by his classmates at the center, raised his eyebrows in surprise. No matter what, one should climb the Three Treasures Hall. He is very curious about what happened to Chen Xuan. Is it convenient now? Let me discuss something with you. I saw Chen Xuan's face fixed and she said heavily. Is the rooftop okay? I can't imagine you having anything I need to help with. Liu Zhenghua was slightly taken aback, feeling very fresh. The key to the rooftop is usually not given to students, let alone allowed to come up and play. But Liu Zhenghua is clearly not an ordinary person, sometimes even bringing some cattle and horses to walk here. This can also be considered his exclusive secret base. Do you understand our class teacher Gao Guangliang? Chen Xuan said in a deep voice. I'm not sure, I just heard that the reputation among teachers is not very good. What's going on? Did I put your little shoes on? Liu Zhenghua casually smiled. Chen Xuan is at least the top student in his grade and a key protected object of the school. Even if the homeroom teacher's brain twitches, they won't ask him for help. I have won many competition awards in our school over the years, do you know? It's hard not to know your name every time a commendation conference is held. You're not here to show off to me, are you? Liu Zhenghua squinted his eyes. Usually he pretends to be pressured in front of others, why did he change today? It's not that interesting, it's just that almost all of my bonuses were deducted by Gao Guangliang. What? Upon hearing these words, Liu Zhenghua couldn't help but twitch a few times at the corner of his mouth. How silly is Gao Guangliang? Are you crazy about greed? Aren't you afraid that Chen Xuan will expose him after the college entrance examination? When the time comes, let alone the principal's brother.in.law, the secretary's brother.in.law will not be able to handle it. But why didn't you say it at first? I didn't expect him to be greedy more and more time after time. Recently, he has simply refused to give it. Chen Xuan explained. If it weren't for the helplessness, he wouldn't have come to ask for help. Do you want me to help you with a few words in front of my dad? Liu Zhenghua asked. My biggest advantage over Chen Xuan is her family background. So the only thing that can make him ask for help is this. Yes, I speak lightly. Even if there is sufficient evidence, I can't do anything about him. The school will definitely suppress him. Chen Xuan nodded and took out the recording pen. I recorded a conversation with him here, maybe it might be useful. You owe me a favor. I'll tell my dad when I go home for dinner tonight. Liu Zhenghua took the pen and spoke in a leisurely tone. Given the heinous nature of this matter, if it were to be exposed to Director Liu, even the principal would not be able to protect him. You should use it earlier, I'm afraid I won't have a chance to repay it after graduation. Seeing Liu Zhenghua agree, Chen Xuan also breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. Today is probably the last day of Gao Guangliang's wrongdoing. That's nature. When she returned to the first classroom, Chen Xuan was also there, but she looked a bit gloomy. Chen Xuan, where did you go just now? Mourning and venting one's dissatisfaction. Go to the restroom. Chen Xuan casually said. It's not too late to explain to her when the matter is over. Let's have a meal together after school later. Sorry, we already have an appointment. Where did you get the appointment? Those guys like Zhou Xiaoyang. Chen Xuan wondered. Zhou Xiaoyang and Zhang Tao are not in the same class as Chen Xuan. She also met these two internet-addicted teenagers through Chen Xuan. Just to inquire about Chen Xuan's affairs from their mouths. No, let's meet again if there's a chance. Upon hearing the sound of the school bell, Chen Xuan picked up her backpack and left this sentence. Seeing the hurried departure of her back, Chen Xuan's heart flashed with a hint of ominous premonition. It's strange. This guy is definitely hiding something from me. No, I have to follow him and take a look. So punctual. Gu Han sat on the flower bed at the school gate, blowing the wind. The good ingredients were all picked out late. It makes sense that the world's only beautiful food should not be let down. After speaking, the two walked together and walked out of the school. What? Why are these two people so familiar in their chat? Does it look like we've been together for a long time? Chen Xuan, who was peeking in the corner, felt a thump in her heart. There is a feeling that the cabbage in my own vegetable garden has been arched by wild boars. That girl looks like a beautiful woman. If she really has ulterior motives towards Chen Xuan, it's hard to say what the outcome will be. And Chen Xuan compared herself in her heart. The chest also has some material. Sure enough, would someone like Chen Xuan, who has such a cold personality, also come this far? After a burst of sighs, Chen Xuan continued to follow the two, saying that she wanted to see where they had progressed. If there is a chance, we should also obstruct it. Chen Xuan, don't be fooled by these external rouge powder. On this earth, only I, Chen Xuan, am devoted and unwavering to you in an unknown supermarket. How about this potato? Gu Han couldn't distinguish the freshness of the food, so he had to find some sturdy ones to show Chen Xuan. Chen Xuan, who was picking meat in the refrigerator, turned her head and said seriously. Sure, as long as it's not rotten. Oh. Put the potatoes into the bag, and Gu Han pointed to the fish spitting bubbles in the water tank, his eyes shining brightly. How about adding braised fish? I haven't eaten it for a long time. Anyway, it's you who pays the bill, I can handle it. Chen Xuan responded. So every time he walked to a place, Gu Han could find a reason to buy it. Our bowls are also a bit old. Today, let's both replace them with new ones. How about this glove? I feel it fits me well, okay. This small table is really convenient. Looking at the shopping cart that was almost unable to fit, Chen Xuan shook her head and sighed. The expenses you spent all day today can match my weekly salary. No, these are all necessities. Gu Han looked at the shopping cart and pondered for a while before saying word by word. What if we can use it in the future? Buying in advance now is a precautionary measure. Looking at the two of them who seemed to have entered their married life early, Chen Xuan's teeth itched with anger beside her. Why is this woman so naturally manipulating Chen Xuan? Do you still want Chen Xuan to go to her house and cook for her? And Chen Xuan has no aversion at all. Even if you go to a wealthy family to become a chef, there's no need to accompany the hostess to buy groceries, right? How can it be repaired? Seemingly sensing the malicious gaze in the dark, Gu Han suddenly felt a chill in his body and sneezed. Tonight, you should take a shower first. I seem to have caught a cold. Glancing at Gu Han a few times, it seemed that there was nothing serious. Chen Xuan didn't take it seriously, just nodded. Chapter 10. Misunderstandings. You are listening at novel FUL.audio. You take a shower first. Take a shower first. Taking a shower. Shower. The short 4 words were like a bolt from the blue, causing Chen Xuan to lose her ability to think. The whole person was stunned and lost color, standing still. The bathing between lonely men and widows may only have that one meaning, a thing that only adults can do. Impossible, impossible, impossible. After a long time, Chen Xuan collapsed on the ground, covering her ears and murmuring to herself. I don't believe it, Chen Xuan is not this kind of person, Chen Xuan is not this kind of person, I don't believe it. Woo-woo. Woo-woo. The supermarket employee who was restocking the shelves was puzzled and quickly asked. This guest, what's wrong with this? What is there to cry about in this public place like a supermarket? Is there a salty pig hand? Chen Xuan's face was filled with tears and she said in agony. My crush. He's having a room with someone else. Woo-woo-woo. Ah. This. Customer emotional issue. Should not be within my scope of work, right? The employee girl let out a bitter smile, feeling somewhat bewildered. How could he do this? Have you considered my feelings? Chen Xuan is not clean anymore. He is not clean anymore. Chen Xuan now only feels that the once handsome and gentle young man has died. She died completely in her heart sunshine apartment. Chen Xuan definitely didn't know that those few conversations could bring such associations to Chen Xuan. Still focused on cooking in the kitchen. How fragrant. Chen Xuan. Gu Han sniffed his nose in the living room, feeling a bit impatient. It's ready soon, you can serve the rice first. Chen Xuan said. After arranging the 2 bowls of rice, Gu Han suddenly exclaimed with a whimsical expression. I feel like we're an old husband and wife. All day. However, halfway through the conversation, it abruptly came to an end. Gu Han's cheeks suddenly turned crimson, and his small hands tightly grasped the corners of his clothes, trying to conceal the surging waves in his heart. What were I just saying? I'm crazy, right? I must be crazy. Bring the prepared braised fish to the table, Chen Xuan whispered. It's quite similar to what you said in TV dramas. There are times when couples and their families are happy, as well as times when they argue endlessly about fuel, rice, oil, and salt. But all of this is not something he can expect. Try it. Gu Han let out a soft hum and ate a few pieces with a twist. After feeling the taste was good, he fully started to eat. If nothing unexpected happens, I can repay you around 5,000 in a few days. What did you do? Why did there suddenly be so much? Gu Han lowered his head and picked up the rice, saying in a surprised tone. Isn't this kid penniless a few days ago? He won't go behind my back and do that, right? I just received the prize money for the competition. Chen Xuan explained. 5,000 is just a conservative estimate. If we really catch them all, it would be nearly 10,000. But once this move is made, it may be difficult for any senior teacher to guarantee the competition for themselves. I will also lose one source of income in the future. What competition? That's all at once. Although Gu Han has never participated, she also knows that in such knowledge competitions, awards are mostly used to earn extra points in the college entrance examination. The bonus is a complete addition, very small. Not once, it was many times before that we came down together. How long does it take? Who knows this? Chen Xuan smiled. If I don't work hard, I'm afraid I won't even get this hard-earned money that belongs to me until I die. A person's life is so difficult, the matter of money is not urgent. Gu Han took another bite of rice, feeling a bit complicated. Others study tirelessly just to prove themselves by winning prizes, and Chen Xuan's place has become an ATM. It's a bit hard to imagine. Where do you want to go to China in college? Gu Han asked curiously. With Chen Xuan's grades and so many awards, I'm afraid there will be many top universities competing for them before the college entrance examination. Isn't this a dazzling choice? Chen Xuan hesitated for a moment and said carefully considering words and sentences. I haven't considered these things yet, let's talk about them later. Where did you come from and what plan did you make? According to the plan, I should be in the belly of a certain mother now. Previously, it was not only because I was cheated out of my savings, but also because I couldn't see any hope for the future. Before finding a reason to live, Chen Xuan was still in a state of waiting to die. After clearing all debts and personal relationships, continue to invest in the river. No, let's change the way we die this time. Is it always too monotonous, such as food poisoning? If nothing unexpected happens, I will go abroad. How about you accompany me? After hearing that Chen Xuan did not have a satisfactory school, Gu Han was first puzzled, then secretly pleased, and finally smiled slightly. When I had an argument with my dad, I said that I wouldn't spend a penny on him anymore in high school and would rely solely on myself to make a living. But college and high school are completely different things. When the time comes, I will ask him for more living expenses and directly pack Chen Xuan to live a world of two in a foreign land. Isn't it beautiful like this? Although I don't have the money to throw Chen Xuan in again, with his skills, the entrance exam is still not in my hands. Abroad. This statement was somewhat unexpected for Chen Xuan. Just him, a poor person who has eaten last meal but can't afford a plane ticket. Where are you going? This is not something I dare to think of. Chen Xuan only thought she was joking and continued to eat. I'll pay. Seeing that Chen Xuan didn't believe it, Gu Han quickly said. If we really can't make it together, all of our shares can be mortgaged out. Let's talk about it later. Chen Xuan said lightly. He has always disliked owing others things, let alone things related to money. Moreover, even if he really wants to go abroad, he will only spend his own money and cannot rely on a girl. Even if she is actually a wealthy generation. The next day at the school gate. I'm going back to class first. Chen Xuan said to Gu Han beside her. They have been going to and from school together these days. Well, good. Just as the two were preparing to part ways, a sudden sound came from them. You too. You too. Chen Xuan darted out from somewhere, with a sinister expression as if catching a traitor. How dare you come to school openly and honestly? No one knows how Chen Xuan spent last night. She cried all night holding the doll, her eyes swollen with tears, feeling like she was about to see too much milk. She doesn't have the pretext of running to the girl's house to catch adultery, but it is still acceptable to conduct moral condemnation in school. But she still didn't expect these two people to come to school together. What are you saying? Chen Xian's calm eyes quickly showed a hint of panic. Like encountering some unexpected event, feeling a bit panicked and uneasy. Did she realize that she actually lived with Gu Han? This girl has never seen other women approach her. Let her know that it can't stop. Seeing that Chen Xian's face was not on the right side, Chen Xuan became even more convinced of what she had seen and heard last night. The heart that had once harbored a glimmer of luck was completely shattered. You are still students. This tearful roar instantly caught the attention of everyone at the school gate. What's going on here? Triangle love. By Shui. Isn't that Chen Xian, the top student in our school? She has won many awards. Do these good students also become scumbags? Bah. Both of them are beautiful women. This kid is really lucky. Gudu. In this scene, Chen Xian couldn't help but swallow her saliva, and a few strands of cold sweat soaked from her forehead. Human words are terrifying, even he must kneel down in the face of rumors and gossip. If we don't solve it perfectly today, we might end up losing our reputation.